Before I get into today's video, I just gotta ask, look, all this time over the last couple months, you guys have been telling me, make the background better, make it a little bit more spiffy, add a little something, make it a little bit more busy. So what do you guys think? I think it's pretty cool, you know, like with the invest in the globe and everything. I was trying to come up with something somewhat creative. I didn't just want to like put a big picture behind me or anything. So if you guys do like it, if you know it's a little bit better, if you make the videos look a little bit better, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, you guys have been messaging me a lot today, especially on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, look in the link below. I will have my Instagram linked over there and you can definitely contact me there. But a lot of you guys have been sending me messages like, Tyler, what is going on with Hyliion? And there's some news, but what exactly has caused all of this to happen and why is it growing so much this week? I mean, it's up over 20% in the last, 6 or 7 trading days. Like, what in the world is going on? Well, in today's video, I will be covering all of that. My name is Tyler Hill, and in today's video, we will be going over the reasons that I believe that this stock is perfectly set up to see a lot of success in the short term and long term here. I think there's a lot of, little small factors that played a big part in why the stock is growing so fast right now and recovering so much ground. If you guys do like these videos, if you are entertained, if you find value in it, or just if you just genuinely just like watching my videos and want to show me some support, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. If there's anything you'd like to say, if there's any feedback, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Look, I added all this stuff on my wall just because of the comment sections, so I do take that feedback personally, and I really do look into every single comment that is left there, so I'll look forward to talking to you there. But that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into the video. Now, it doesn't really need to be said that we are seeing a lot of these markets perform exceptionally well due to Joe Biden being president. Because I did say this in a video a while back, I don't remember exactly when it was, that if Trump got reelected, that we would see certain industries doing better, and if Biden got elected, we would see other industries doing better. It's kind of just how it goes. Now, we have seen the electric vehicle market start to flourish, since the election of Joe Biden. And I do think that is simply because his party and his campaign does favor electric vehicles and renewable natural gas vehicles a little bit better. Now, the reason I say that is because it's just been seen in the past that they tend to pass more policy and legal regulation based around the electric vehicle market, or based around just kind of not relying so much on the oil and gas industry and finding a more green, less carbon emission way to fuel these cars and fuel these big trucks and all those things. Now, not only that though, I believe that plays a factor, but I don't think it's the biggest factor. But one thing I will say is that in the overall electric vehicle market, we have seen a lot of success recently. Now, this is what I've kind of noticed with the market is that if one of the big players in the EV industry starts to have bad news or bad press, it seems to bring down the overall market. Like when Tesla does bad, I notice NIO going down. I notice Hyliion going down. I notice Nikola going down. If NIO and Tesla are doing bad, it tends to affect almost all of the EV companies, especially the ones that were released recently. And so it is curious and it is interesting to see that whenever Tesla's doing so well, they just had the news get released about them being inducted into the S&P 500, and they're like one of the 10th biggest ones to be brought onto the S&P 500, which is crazy how fast they, went from being profitable over 5 quarters to now being one of the biggest inductees into the S&P 500 is nuts. And then we've had all this news about NIO coming out. NIO being on fire. That's a big topic, especially on YouTube right now. And the overall market is such a big topic. And we're just seeing a lot of good press around the EV industry. And so whenever we do see a bit of that, I've noticed that it just brings up other stocks like Hyliion or Workhorse or Nikola. I've noticed that it tends to bring them with it. So I do believe that also does play a factor into why we are seeing so much success with Hyliion, especially in the last week. Now, like we have seen last week whenever the vaccine news was released, that some of these vaccines are up to 95% effective. Like I said earlier, that is big news, especially for the stock market, because we know that stocks tend to move based on worry and confidence. Well, since we have seen some of these investors get a little bit more confident and invest their money, we're seeing that a lot of these companies, especially some in the real estate investment trust area or some of the EVs or some of the recovery stocks, they're starting to do a lot better because people are getting a little bit more confident. They're getting a little bit more bold. They're not so worried that they might lose all their money in the market, so they're actually starting to put it in again. And so whenever you have these people who are starting to invest their money, they start to think about it like this, in my opinion. Like, okay, we have a president who favors electric vehicle stocks. We have a lot of electric vehicle, good news, like with Tesla doing well, and NIO doing well, and all these different things. Well, I think the EV market could be a good play for the short term because of how volatile it is. You can see a big gain in over a couple months. But especially in the 3 to 4 year term, because you think about it, over the course of this presidency, I think Joe Biden is going to pass a lot of regulation, somewhat similar to California, that is simply going to benefit the EV industry. And, like I said, it could be detrimental to other industries like the oil and gas industry. But whenever we focus on Tesla, Nikola, Workhorse, Hyliion, all of these different ones, I think it could be super beneficial over the next couple years. And so whenever people realize all these different things, and now they're confident enough to invest because there's a vaccine potentially coming out, well, what better place to invest in like a startup like Hyliion or somewhere like Tesla or NIO? And I think that is playing a big factor in why we are seeing so much of a run-up in these stocks recently. Now, another reason I am seeing that this stock is starting to climb a bit is the shorters are getting less successful. Now, it's something I've been preaching video after video after video. And if you watch all of these videos, I say it every single video that these short sharks have been killing Hyliion. They're really, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons it's dropping. Their fundamentals haven't really changed. There's not been much bad press, but these shorters really know how to kill a stock down and beat it down all the way. And so I've noticed that as it started to reach that 20 level, where Jim Cramer was like at $20, I think it's a little bit more reasonable of a buy. When it hit $20, 19, 18 roughly, we saw Jim Cramer tweet, "It's coming to me," as if he was starting to, maybe purchase some Hyliion shares. We saw Hyliion do all these different things that, have directly benefited the company, like hiring Jose Oxholm. And we've noticed that the shorters were having a lot less success pushing this stock price down. Because originally it was like every day at market open, they were smashing this thing down like 8 or 9%. And it was almost like every single day. Well, recently, as it started to hit that $18 to $19 range, they were having a lot less success. And I said it over and over again that I think once these shorters start being a little bit less successful, that they're going to take the hype train somewhere else. They're going to find another company that they can smash, or they're going to, they're going to find something else to do, because they're not just going to keep sitting here trying to beat this one down if they're not seeing as much success as they were last month. If we go ahead and we look here at the short volume, the total volume and the short volume ratio from Monday, we saw that the short volume was 1,080,000. The total volume was 3,777,000, which means the short volume ratio was only 28.60. Now, in comparison to previous Mondays, that is actually super low. Last Monday, we can clearly see that the short volume ratio was 29.56. So in comparison to that, it's just casually and, just slowly dropping every single week. Now, of course, there were days last week that weren't as high as 28.60, but I like to look at it at a day-to-day basis. And this Monday, the total short volume ratio was lower than a lot of the previous Mondays we've seen. And so even if you go back and you look at it again, all of these numbers are slowly starting to drop. Of course, last Thursday and Friday, there was a little bit of success whenever it comes to actually, the shorters in the stock. But after 3 days, like we saw last week, where this thing was pushing up 10% a day, it can kind of be seen. It's kind of understandable that, it dropped a little bit. It was almost expected. But overall, the trend whenever it comes to shorters is dropping. They're having a lot less success, and they're starting to get out of this stock. And I do believe that that's super duper important. And it's also super exciting as an investor personally, because I'm like, finally, like, y'all had y'all success, y'all beat it down, you made your money, now go somewhere else. Go find something else to do. Let the investors take over. Let the long-term investors take over. And let's really see what this company's potential is and what this stock is capable of. Now, with all that going on, with Joe Biden being in office, with the vaccine coming out, with the overall EV market doing well, we've also seen some pretty decent news about Hyliion recently. Of course, like I said, Jose Oxholm was appointed as a vice president, so that was super duper good. I believe that a lot of this run-up this week is a part of that too, because people are starting to see the moves Hyliion are making. But we also had an article coming out saying that a price target of 27 was set on Hyliion. And it's crazy because at this moment, I think Hyliion's somewhere like 26.50. So whenever these numbers get put out on the internet, like with Jim Cramer was 20, and now this article at 27, it's just almost like this thing just follows what those analysts and reports are saying. And, maybe they're just really good at it, or maybe the people who are buying and selling are just easily influenced. I'm not 100% sure, but it is kind of weird to see how accurate a lot of these predictions have been recently. But like I said, we have seen a lot of decent news and really no bad news. And only for so long can the shorters keep pushing the stock down without any bad news, because the investors like myself, or the people who have faith in this long term, they're going to take over. And I do believe that that's what we're seeing. I wouldn't get 100% confident in it yet. I wouldn't say that, it's just not going to drop back down to, who knows, $22, $23. I believe there's a lot of, there's a long road ahead for this company. I think there's a lot of proving they still have to do. And I think there's a lot that's still still has to go into this company to make it really flourish. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it remain volatile, especially for the rest of this year. But in the long term, I do believe that the numbers it's at now make it a very, very just appealing buying entry. I know I'm buying pretty much 1 or 2 shares every single red day, and that's something I continue to do as the days do go on. Now, recently it has been kind of hard to buy any shares with red days as it goes up and up. So who knows, I might have to just start dollar cost averaging either up or down. It kind of just depends on what keeps happening. Well, I hope you guys did like that video. I know it's a little bit longer, but I really just wanted to explain the reasons as to why I believe this company and this stock price is just going up. Seems like there's a lot going into it. It's like one big gumbo, as you would say in the, you know, when you live in Louisiana. But it's just been really interesting to see all these different factors play their own part in raising the stock price, especially when it comes to the shorting volume against all the news. If you guys do like my videos, once again, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing if you are new to the channel. You could subscribe, you could like, and you could comment. I'm not going to keep using that to do that. Don't worry. I'm not going to be that cringy, but you know I had to do it one time. But I hope to see you guys soon. Again, I like to post once to twice every single day for 4 or 5 days in a week. So I'll be seeing you guys soon. Peace.